This is why it's so important to tell your photographer what editing style you prefer. Right now, I'm going to show you different ways that I could edit this one photo and how drastically different they are depending on what style you're wanting for engagement photos, wedding photos, any type of photo shoot that you ever want. So, so I'm going to try to do bright and airy first. So I'm going to do shadows up, highlights down a little bit. Let's go for a little bit of a warmer tone. Vibrance up a little bit. Then what I'm going to do, desaturate my greens a little bit. Make my greens a little bit more green and desaturate those a little bit more. If you could see on the tree bark, that's what I'm affecting most. So I'm kind of getting like that nice green look rather than just like that darker green. I'm kind of making it a little bit brighter. And then the yellows in the trees, I'm gonna try to see what it looks like if I went a little bit more orange. That looks pretty good. Let me see if I went a little bit more green and it's a little too much. So I'm gonna just keep them a little bit more orangish. And then let's see what it looks like if I desaturate them a little bit. Like, okay, now this probably is looking good right now for like airy and bright. So now a thing that we can do would be probably radial gradient up here. Probably we could probably even put it right behind them. And what we could do is make it even brighter, make it a little bit warm, dehaze it even a little bit. And then what we're going to do is making sure that doesn't affect the subject at all. And then what we can do as well to make it look more professional and like real is just to kind of brush out where the light wouldn't be at. Okay, so like if I did like airy and bright, this is probably a good place where I'd usually keep it. Another thing that we could do to make it a different style of airy and bright would be to like add less clarity, so it's more of a glowy feel. And then what I usually do as well is if I selected subject, which is just them, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to invert it so it's everything but them, and I'm going to add even less clarity and kind of just give it that like kind of a glow feel. And then what you can do as well is like this is a little bit of a warmer photo. Now, if you wanted it, like some couples like it this warm, like it over like here. Some people want it a little bit more cooler, so they could even have it right here. Another thing we could do as well, people love black and white. We could do black and white, and what we could do as well is we could add green. So let me find green real quick. And this is like a style that people are starting to like, but just adding green on the photo, making it black and white, people like that style. And now what we can do as well is we could completely reset this photo to the before. And now we could do an entire different approach where we make the shadows a little bit darker, highlights a little bit brighter. We can have the photo be more of like a darkish green. So what we can do is we can make the greens unsaturated the littlest bit and make a almost like the grass a little bit like the trees in the background a little bit more green, so that's the main color in the photo, and we could have it like an overall green feel. So what we could do is have exposure come up a little bit and then keep shadows down. Some people like a contrasty look. That's how this is looking right now. And then what we could do as well, some people like a dark green with like some lower on the clarity. And we could add a little bit more green into the photo and almost make it look like it's like an older photo. So like this is the before, this is the after, so it's a little bit more of like a moody vibe. It also depends, is like it's so important to tell your photographer the editing style you want before the shoot, because for example, this couple wanted airy and bright. And what this looks like is when I'm taking photos, that you have to take photos that align with that editing style. So for example, like yes, it's like a little bit more moody. Can we make it more drastic and we could lower this down a little bit? I could put a linear gradient over here and make it even more like a dramatic. Yes, I can. But it also is very important just to know what is wanted before the shoot, because if this was a darker style um, photo shoot, what I would do is not have a the lights behind them, because now this just overall makes the image more brighter and uplifting. So like now if I take this same style that I have and apply it to, so I guess this is a good example, but now if I apply that same mask that we just had, we kind of warm the skin back up a little bit. And we make the linear gradient come up over here like this. And now we have that darker of a mood editing style. And we could even do more grain. There is 100 ways that you could edit each photo, which makes it fun, but makes it also even more important for you to at least let your photographer know what style you're going for, or even most couples don't even like talk to me about editing style, because they already understand my portfolio and what I'm going to deliver. But it is important as well when you're on the phone, someone refers you and they're talking and they haven't seen your work yet, to at least demonstrate what your work looks like or get a gist of what they're wanting. Because if they wanted a style like this, I could definitely do this. But then at the same time, if I reset this photo, right, you could say like we have a completely different photo. And like it depends so much on the editing style, and that is why it's always so important to tell your photographer what editing style you're going for.